Hello, welcome. Do you like my face? Oh, right. Pop you there, I guess. See this face. This is not a happy face. So, where do I begin? Yesterday evening, I guess, would be a good start. Yesterday evening, I was on a computer. I'm on a computer most days and do like little bits and pieces, and as you all know, trying to find out what's the best next video and stuff and what to do next and tinker around and all that good stuff. Well, I've kind of hit a speed bump, a pretty substantial speed bump that has come and, just bitch slapped me across the face, apparently. is probably one way to put it. Basically, the PC is FUBAR. Absolutely FUBAR. So let me begin. I was on a computer doing normal stuff, kind of a look at other different ways of getting that little bit extra out of the computer and stuff and things like that. Just normal. I was going through a couple of things and I wanted to install the Ryzen Master Controller. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's a program so you can look into overclocking, if you can overclock CPU and stuff and things like that. So like, I'll go have a look because I want to look at the temperatures of the CPU and just make sure that the sensor from the AIO is actually working correctly to the way it should be and telling me what the temperatures are, because I want to know what the temperatures are of the coolant, the temperatures are of everything else and stuff and things like that. But, okay. Now, I didn't overclock or anything like that. Installed the app, everything seemed to be okay. So it was on there, and what I wanted to do is do a stress test. It's a simple stress test because obviously the computer is water cooled, and it won't be a problem or anything. And I can just stress test and just kind of see where the temperatures are, because generally when I play games, generally the temperature is telling me when I'm watching, because I've got like a little fan application that I got, and it basically, you can see your temperatures, but not only that, you can get each individual device in your computer that has a temperature. You can have like your CPU running at a certain speed and GPU running at a completely different speed, or you can have a mix of the two, and both have graphs, but when one exceeds the other one, then the fans speed up on both in order to keep them both cool, and it's like a bit of a juggling act between one and the other. But it won't cause any problems or anything like that. It just makes sure that the fans turn on and the case fans turn on, and they'll obviously turn on and be a little bit louder and obviously compensate for the air and temperature of the room and stuff to make sure that the computer always stays cold. Generally, when I play games, they always stay around about 50 to 60. Never really too much above that when I'm playing games, and that's been absolutely fine, because generally a GPU itself will run pretty warm itself, and the CPU never exceeded that either. So the AIO is doing its job in keeping it cool, which is great. So I did this auto test, and it's not me changing figures and not knowing what to do. It's an auto test. It auto does it for you. So I clicked auto. Within a couple of seconds, for some weird reason, the CPU just went from normal to 90 or something around that region. And the computer just went and shut down. And I was like, what? I'm like, what's going on here? So I was like, scratching my head for a moment now and just thinking, has it tripped? Why is it tripped? It's doing a stress test just to see, you know, and I've not changed any values. I've not put any values in myself. I've just put in the automatic test of the system so that the computer can automatically test itself and just see, you know, where the limits are, when it's going to throttle and stuff, and kind of give me an idea of what the system's doing inside. So obviously I can be aware of that and obviously know where I'm going to go from there. But yeah, it just went, turned off. I heard a little click as well. So I was like, well, that's not good. That's tripped. It's tripped, and obviously the thing's tripped and it's turned itself off. So I'm like, why has it done that? That makes no sense. So yeah, I was like, okay, you have to have it, sweetie. Yeah? You're not going upstairs to mum because mum's sleeping. So he's being a pain because he wants to go upstairs, and he does this to purposely try and get upstairs to his mum because she's in bed. So yeah, so I was like, okay, well, why is it tripped? I was like, okay, well, I'll just obviously unplug, turn it off, hold the power button, plug it back in, everything will be good. So I did that, press the button, instantly you press the button, click. And I'm like, that's not good. If it's clicked again, and I've reset and everything, then it shouldn't be a problem. So took out the battery, took out the battery, obviously let the battery drain from the system, so it can reset, because I kind of thought maybe it was still picking up on the Ryzen settings and this was causing an issue. So I was like, okay, maybe that's a problem. So I did that and then obviously waited, put it back in after 30 seconds, did it again, click. I was like, don't start, not today. I don't need this today. Honestly, I don't need this today. So obviously, first in my mind is like, please, 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 Lord, make sure it's not my 5950X that's just gone. Oh, I'm going to be extremely angry. Either that or the AIO pump. I really can't afford, or my 3060 graphics card. I just can't afford for them to break on me right now. Please, just work. So you have to then go through the process of elimination. So I went in, I was like, okay, first thing, we'll do graphics card. Took graphics card out, did the same thing again, click, no, okay. So graphics card to one side, take all memory out, leave one stick in the first slot, turn it on, again, put it in the next, put it in, not, because you've got 4 rows. I put one in first row and then not miss a row, and then in another one to do the dual channel thing. Plug it in that one instead. Got another. Come on, we can do better than that. There we go. So we did again, and I was like, okay, well, it's not memory. So went over then to CPU, took off the whole AIO, unplugged all the AIO and made sure it wasn't on. Put my old Wraith fan on top. Did again. No, okay. Took the CPU out. Put my 2600 back in. No. I was like, well, what can it be then? So I've gone through all the processes. I don't know what the hell's going on. I've done it all day long. It is now late at night. It's actually 5 o'clock into 6 o'clock. Yes, 5 o'clock because Doc's just gone live, 1700. And I was like, well, what else can it be? It don't make sense. So eventually, I'm like, well, I need to unplug everything I can think of. The only thing I thought of that wasn't unplugged was the 8 pin. connector, the 8-pin at the top left, that then goes to the motherboard. The 8-pin, sorry, that goes to the PSU and then back to goes to the board. So the one that powers the motherboard. I unplugged that, and I'm like, well, I don't know what else to try. So I've unplugged it. Some point after then, I plugged in a couple of things. I think I put graphics card and a memory stick in, and I've left everything else out. Pressed it, turned it on. It turned on. It worked. It actually worked. It turned on. RGB started turning on. Everything started to light up. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, I don't know what that is. What did I do? So I'm like, I'm putting some things back in. I put the 8-pin back in and stuff, and then it starts. I'm thinking, maybe I fixed it. So I'm starting putting all the stuff back in. I'd even tried the other graphics card because I've got the other Gigabyte graphics card. I've got the other old two. I even put that one in, and eventually find out after all that, to jump to the short of the story, it's the 8-pin. The 8-pin is FUBAR. So I can plug stuff in, but I'm just not getting nothing from it. As long as I don't plug in the 8-pin, the computer turns on, all the fans spin. And I've got two separate power supplies. So I even thought maybe it's a power supply. Maybe this power supply is broken. So I got out the other power supply I got from when I swapped over, because I swapped over from that one to a Gigabyte, and there was nothing wrong with that power supply. Even that wouldn't turn on when you plugged it in the 8-pin. It would just stay off. But yeah, I'd take out the 8-pin, the fan starts to spin, and I'm like, great. So it's an 8-pin. I've been through three different types of 8-pin. None of them are working. So we have come to the conclusion. The 8-pin is FUBAR. The actual motherboard is FUBAR. The 8-pin on the motherboard is the FUBAR. So yeah, my motherboard. Now I was looking at getting another motherboard eventually, when I could afford to. So please, if you're watching this, start liking this video as much as possible. Like. I need the help, okay? So luckily I phoned Amazon and I said to Amazon, there's a problem. Because I actually did speak to them about the power supply, and they went through a little bit of stuff about it, and then eventually come back to me and said, we'll give you your money back. You send the power supply back. However, obviously now I'm believing it's the motherboard that's fault and not the power supply. I need to hold on to that power supply, because if that power supply is good, I don't want to be using old power supply, because the old power supply was only 550 watt. This is 850 watt. So obviously I need the wattage for obviously the 3060 and everything like that. So I will probably need to abandon that choice for now. Wait until the new board comes, try it out, then see what happens. But yeah, so unfortunately, what does this mean? It means I won't be live streaming tomorrow because I don't have a PC to use. Luckily, however, we do have a new motherboard coming tomorrow. It's coming tomorrow. I went and got a little bit more of a revamped motherboard. I believe it's got Wi-Fi in that to it, Wi-Fi 6. It supports DDR5 as well. So it's future-proofed, and that comes tomorrow. So tomorrow we're going to hopefully have a new PC. Probably not tomorrow morning or afternoon. So it'll probably end up being like this, where it's at night, and then we'll eventually get it. But yeah, it is what it is. Luckily, Amazon are helping me out, because obviously, like I said, I spoke to them about the power supply and that, and about the motherboard, and they are going to help me out. So they're sending me a replacement for free of charge, and I'm going to get a replacement motherboard tomorrow, and then we'll see what we can do. I've had to add a little bit extra to it, like, because obviously it's a different motherboard to the one that we've got, but at least we have a replacement and it's coming tomorrow. So keep an eye out tomorrow. I'll do a video when I've actually got it installed, and fingers crossed it actually works. And it's not the GPU as well, because that would suck. But as far as I'm aware, the GPU, the fans are spinning. It wasn't lighting up though, but I believe that's because of the 8-pin, because it needs power to board, because I wasn't even getting the the LED lights that light up, that go like cycle through the different cycles and then go from orange to green, and then it starts to post. I didn't get any of those lights coming up at all. They were just completely nothing at all. So definitely the 8-pin is the offender. Whether or not that's affected other parts, I don't know, but we'll find out tomorrow. But as far as I'm aware, as long as that's not plugged in, everything else works. The pump is working because you can feel it when I hold it. The fans are working because they're turning on and moving. The graphics card does spin, it just doesn't light up. But again, that could be because of the 8-pin, because there's no power to board. And we'll see where we go from there. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we're good. But we have got a 2600 and I've got the 5950X, so we can obviously try both if need be. I've got two separate power supplies, so we can try both power supplies if need be. So fingers crossed, we're good. Anyway, I'll let you go. We'll keep you in the loop, and we'll hope and pray it blooming works tomorrow. So there you go. That's my bad day for today. And we'll just see how it goes. Anyway, I'm the Cap Comic signing out as always. Salute to you, my comic heads. Sorry, no streams tomorrow, but we will be back the day after, and hopefully we'll be good. And yeah, it better work, or you're gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. The computer's gonna get it. It's going out the window for sure.